Hello, YouTube family. Well, as you can see, we are making some forward progress in getting our garden ready for this year. We're going to be coming out with a video, the next video in our series on how to garden well, very soon. But before we publish that video, I just want to show you really quick what we're going to be doing this year to control weeds in our raised bed. So let me walk you out to the garden, and I'm going to flip the camera around and we're going to talk about just a few things that we're going to be doing. Well, as you can see over my shoulder, we have weed fabric down in our tomato bed. You also maybe see the new support trellis that we've got for our tomatoes. We'll be talking about that also sometime here in the future. Now, last year, we ended up putting our tomatoes in, and then as an afterthought, worked to cut weed fabric around and put it around our tomato plants. It was kind of a pain in the butt. But in the end, it really did help control the weeds. We didn't know whether it was going to negatively impact our tomato or the production or fertilizing and feeding our tomato plants. It had zero negative impact. Well, we were so encouraged by that, and it was such a labor saver seeing that, again, we don't do this full time. We have other things that we do, and we need to save as much time as possible, that we thought about doing this through as many beds as possible. Now, we didn't think far enough ahead to get all the beds taken care of that way, but we did think far enough ahead on most of them. So allow me to turn the camera around again, like I said I was going to, and show you what we're going to be doing in some of our beds. Now, here is some of the I wish we had thought ahead, and that is in reference to our garlic. We got the garlic in last fall. We weren't thinking of getting weed fabric down. We were just thinking of getting garlic in the ground before winter came. And so if we had it to do all over again, we would have done that. We have the same issue when it comes to our potatoes and our onions that we've already put in for this spring. If we were thinking ahead, we would have had that done. We also ended up having this trellis system that we've put in for our peas. That's going to be in our planting video that's going to be coming out here really soon. And again, we would have probably put the weed fabric over all of this and then worked to put our peas and our onions in by cutting holes in through it. Now, we're going to be putting peppers in here, and that's not going to be hard. We'll just cut little slits in our weed fabric, and we'll drop our pepper plants in, and everything should go well. This is going to be where we are going to put in our salad. So all of our lettuces, our radish, our carrots, our spinach, all of those things are going to be going in here. And you might ask, Brian, how in the world are you going to do that? Well, again, we're going to show you here in the future, but we're basically going to be cutting trenches in the fabric about a couple inches wide, and then we'll just put our radishes and we'll put our lettuces all in a row like we usually do. However, we'll have the weed fabric between the rows, which will again help knock down the weeds. Now, the one that's going to be a little bit more challenging is going to be in this bed. We ended up buying some woven weed fabric that we used to replace the really cheap stuff that we had over there. Lynn came up with a brilliant idea, since these are lines are 1 feet apart, to run the fabric this direction. We will then draw lines long ways to give us our 1 foot square. However, we plant intensively with this the raised bed method we use. And we're going to be putting in 9 seed plants, 9 bean seeds per square foot. And so again, we're going to get all of that drawn out here, those squares, and then we're going to burn 9 little holes to drop our seeds in. I know, that sounds like a lot of work just to plant the seeds. However, we believe and feel that if this doesn't negatively impact, we don't think it should, and all of our bean plants come up the way they should, it is going to save us a ton of time on the far side or the back end with not having to weed. Let me go and walk down here and just show you the last 3 beds. If you remember, we had watermelon, we had zucchini squash, and I can't quite remember what we had in that far bed last year. I'd have to go back and look at my drawings. We went ahead and covered these. These 3 beds were the worst when it came to weeds. Well, we've got this woven weed fabric down, and again, we'll end up putting our little cuts in there to put our spaghetti squash in, and Will weeds come up around where there are open spots? Yes, but we're not going to be having to weed the entire bed. And so we are really looking forward to not having to do as much work on the backside when it comes to weeding. Allow me to give you an example really quick of what we did just a couple of days ago. We ended up removing all of our black raspberries. They just weren't giving us our bang for our buck. They were a little difficult to take care of, and we needed to transplant our blueberry plants. And so we ended up laying this weed fabric down, cutting holes, as you see, and then putting in the plants. And we'll be bringing our hoses back here from our rain barrels today because it's awfully damp. Looks like maybe something got into this. We're gonna, oh my, yep, looks like an animal of some sort got into this. And so we're gonna have to do something to try to protect these plants. Yeehaw. Everybody wants stuff, not only humans, but wildlife too. And we're gonna have to do a little bit of wildlife control. We have a problem with a lot of feral cats around here. Anyway, let me go ahead and again, just flip this around and have a few more comments, and then we'll let you go. So that's it. Again, not rocket science. We ended up just putting that weed fabric down. We hope it's going to work for us. We'll give you updates through the year. Maybe this will help you think ahead, a little farther ahead than what we did. Get that weed fabric down and let us know how it's going for you. See if it has a negative or positive impact on your plants and on your work, and maybe just give you a better production this year. Well, again, thank you for watching our video. If you were encouraged by this, give it a thumbs up. If you're not yet a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to know when a new video comes out, hit the little bell button. And again, as always, you have a blessed day.